Hello, wonderful people. I hope you guys are doing well. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy these kinds of videos. Also, let us know where you're listening from. Okay then, let's dive into today's topic. Could Batman have a hidden agenda to unmask the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite? Batman, the Dark Knight of Gotham, has always been a symbol of justice, fighting against the criminals who plague the city. However, beyond his well-known crusade against Gotham's street-level offenders, there is a deeper question about his true motivations. Could Batman's relentless pursuit of justice actually have a more complex purpose, an agenda to unmask and expose the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite? At first glance, Batman's mission seems straightforward: protect the innocent, stop crime, and ensure justice is served. However, as we peel back the layers of Gotham's corrupt landscape, it becomes clear that Batman's work often places him in direct conflict with those who hold the city's power. The wealthy, the influential, and the seemingly untouchable members of Gotham's elite. Over the years, Gotham's rich and powerful have been involved in countless schemes, corruption, and nefarious activities that have kept the city in a constant state of fear, corruption, and inequality. These individuals, from corrupt politicians to business tycoons, are often just as dangerous as the criminals Batman regularly confronts on the streets. Could it be that Batman's fight for justice is not solely about cleaning up the streets, but is also an attempt to expose and dismantle the very system that sustains Gotham's inequality? Could his true agenda be about bringing the secrets of Gotham's elite into the light, unraveling the corrupt power structures that have long been the true rulers of the city? To explore this question, we need to consider Batman's history, his motivations, his interactions with the wealthy and powerful, and his long-standing suspicion of those who operate behind the scenes. The corruption of Gotham's elite, a city built on power and secrets. Gotham's elite class has long been portrayed as a source of the city's corruption. The upper echelon of society, the political power brokers, and the business magnates have historically been complicit in the very criminal activities Batman works to eradicate. Whether through funding criminal organizations like the Falcone family or profiting from the city's chaos, Gotham's elite have always had a vested interest in keeping the city in turmoil, so long as it benefits their wealth and influence. From the very beginning, Batman's work has revealed the disturbing connections between Gotham's crime families and its political and economic powers. Characters like Carmine Falcone, Rupert Thorne, and Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, are prime examples of how the elite and the criminal underworld often overlap. These figures wield influence in both legitimate and illicit spheres, perpetuating a system of inequality, corruption, and violence. Batman's deep understanding of Gotham's corrupt power structure goes beyond his fight against street-level criminals. He has often exposed the sinister ties that bind Gotham's elite to the criminal world. In many of Batman's encounters, the line between the criminal and the powerful is blurred, with the city's wealthiest figures using their resources to manipulate the law, cover up crimes, and maintain control over the city's resources. Batman's awareness of this duality may well suggest that his true mission is not only to stop crime, but to unearth the deeper, more insidious elements of Gotham's power structure. Batman sits, distrust of Gotham's elite, a lifelong suspicion. Bruce Wayne, through his alter ego Batman, has long been distrustful of Gotham's elite. This distrust is rooted in his personal history: the murder of his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, in Crime Alley, has remained a key event in shaping his worldview. The fact that his parents were part of Gotham's upper class, yet their death was caused by a random act of street-level violence, has haunted Bruce. However, it is not just the violence of the streets that bothers him, it's the wealth and privilege of Gotham's elite that have allowed this violence to fester unchecked. Bruce's own inheritance from his parents and his place in Gotham's elite circles give him unique access to the powerful, yet, despite this connection, he has always kept his distance from the political and social circles that typically represent Gotham's wealth. This distancing is not simply a product of his desire to remain focused on his crime-fighting mission. It's a recognition that Gotham's elite are not simply innocent bystanders in the city's corruption, but often active participants. He has often found that the city's most influential figures, including businessmen and politicians, are involved in shady deals, bribery, and the protection of organized crime. As Batman, Bruce Wayne takes a hands-off approach to direct involvement with Gotham's power structures. He operates outside the boundaries of the law and challenges the very system that enables the elite to act with impunity. Yet, his interactions with Gotham's wealthy families, whether through his alter ego Wayne Enterprises or his undercover work, frequently reveal just how deeply the rot runs within the city's upper crust. Could it be that Bruce Wayne, under the guise of Batman, is working tirelessly to dismantle the power structures that have long perpetuated the city's inequality? While he fights criminals on the streets, he also sees the necessity of unmasking the people at the top of the pyramid, the ones whose wealth and influence protect them from justice. His vigilante methods and refusal to operate through conventional channels suggest that Batman might be intentionally working outside the system to expose these truths. Batman and the systemic corruption. A closer look at Gotham City's institutions. One of Batman's core missions has been to expose the systemic corruption that plagues Gotham's institutions. This corruption extends far beyond the criminal organizations Batman traditionally battles. It seeps into the political system, law enforcement, and even the media. The corruption within Gotham's police force, the judiciary, and even the mayor's office is evident in Batman's interactions with these institutions. From the police officers who are paid off by crime families to the judges who release criminals back onto the streets, Gotham's institutions have long been compromised. Batman frequently encounters these individuals, and time and again he finds that the very people who are supposed to be upholding the law are often the ones aiding and abetting Gotham's worst offenders. This highlights a fundamental question: could Batman's distrust of Gotham's elite be part of a larger, more strategic effort to expose the inner workings of these institutions and dismantle the systems that perpetuate corruption? Batman has frequently confronted Gotham's politicians, business leaders, and members of the police force, revealing the ways in which these individuals are complicit in the city's chaos. The mayor's office, for example, has often been a breeding ground for corruption, with politicians willing to turn a blind eye to crime in exchange for financial gain. Meanwhile, the police force, despite occasional moments of honor, has been riddled with corruption, with many officers working with criminal families or accepting bribes. These systemic issues have long been a focus of Batman's mission, suggesting that his true agenda may not be just to stop crime, but to unearth the corrupt practices that enable it. A possible hidden agenda, exposing the truth behind Gotham City's elite. So, could Batman's hidden agenda really be about unmasking the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite? If we examine his actions through this lens, the evidence becomes compelling. Batman's efforts to expose Gotham's criminal organizations are just one part of his strategy. His ongoing battle with figures like Falcone, Cobblepot, and even the Court of Owls, as well as his deep suspicion of Gotham's political leadership, suggests that his true goal might be to take down the entire corrupt system that supports these figures. Moreover, Batman's refusal to operate within the law and his rejection of traditional methods of justice further hint at his desire to expose the truth about Gotham's elite. Unlike the typical hero who might work with law enforcement, Batman operates outside the system because he believes that the system itself is compromised. His unmasking of Gotham's criminals may be a larger metaphor for his intent to unmask the elite who, despite their position of power, often operate in the shadows of the city's legal and political systems. As Gotham's greatest detective, Batman is uniquely positioned to uncover these secrets. His intelligence, his resources, and his access to Gotham's power structure allow him to slowly unravel the web of corruption that holds the city together. However, his methods have always been shrouded in secrecy. By working in the shadows, Batman has kept his ultimate goals hidden, ensuring that his true mission, if it is to expose the elite, remains a secret for as long as necessary. As we delve deeper into the concept of Batman having a hidden agenda to unmask the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite, we begin to see that his actions and strategies over the years have not simply been about defending Gotham from street-level criminals. His operations and investigative methods consistently point to a more profound purpose: to expose the deeply ingrained corruption within the city's highest echelons. While Batman's battle against Gotham's criminal underworld is well known, his fight against the city's elite is equally critical and arguably more dangerous due to their extensive power and influence. Batman SIP's methods: a strategic approach to unmasking Gotham SIP's elite. Batman's methods in dealing with Gotham's criminals have always been unorthodox. His use of fear, intimidation, and psychological warfare goes beyond the typical hero's actions. While most law enforcement agencies work within the confines of the law, Batman regularly operates outside of these boundaries, using his own brand of justice to expose the corruption within Gotham's streets. However, this unconventional approach might not just be about dealing with street crime, it might also be a method of testing the limits of Gotham's elite. One of Batman's most profound qualities is his strategic mind. His use of detective work, surveillance, and manipulation of information allows him to systematically tear down the foundations of Gotham's criminal syndicates. However, his strategies and techniques also reveal a larger goal, one where Batman's primary objective is not simply to defeat individual criminals, but to expose the systems that perpetuate crime and corruption. Through his efforts to gather evidence, manipulate circumstances, and confront the city's elite in indirect ways, Batman is, perhaps, laying the groundwork for a larger reveal, one that could shatter the illusion of power that Gotham's elite have carefully cultivated. Batman's techniques are about more than just bringing criminals to justice. They are about unraveling the complex web of relationships that hold Gotham's criminal and elite systems together. His interactions with key figures like Carmine Falcone, the Penguin, and even characters like Ra's al Ghul and Lex Luthor demonstrate his ability to manipulate these larger forces and expose their ties to the city's social and political hierarchy. Batman, being a man of extreme intelligence and resourcefulness, knows that to truly bring about lasting change, he must first unmask the systemic corruption that allows Gotham's elite to thrive. The duality of Gotham SIP's elite: public facades versus hidden secrets. Gotham's elite are not just the business tycoons or the politicians that Batman frequently confronts. They are the very foundation of the city's institutional corruption. Many of Gotham's wealthiest citizens present themselves as benevolent figures, philanthropists working for the betterment of the city. However, beneath their public facades lies a history of corruption, criminal dealings, and exploitation. These individuals thrive on the status quo where crime is both a profit mechanism and a means to maintain control over Gotham's poorer districts. Figures like Thomas Wayne, Bruce's own father, represent this duality. Though his father's legacy is one of philanthropy and social responsibility, it's hinted that Thomas Wayne was also complicit in some of the darker dealings within Gotham, possibly even having ties to some of the criminal families. This idea is further explored through the Court of Owls, a secret society composed of Gotham's wealthiest and most powerful families. The court's actions reveal how deeply rooted corruption is within Gotham's elite, showing that even those who present themselves as noble or virtuous are often involved in the city's darker undercurrents. Batman's quest, therefore, might not simply be to battle individual criminals, but to expose these power structures that are designed to protect the elite. By uncovering their ties to crime families, shady business practices, and illegal enterprises, Batman's hidden agenda begins to come into focus. Gotham's elite have spent decades manipulating the system for their own benefit, and Batman, as Gotham's greatest detective, has been meticulously working to expose their secrets. He is not just unmasking individual wrongdoers, he is dismantling the very institutions that allow them to thrive unchecked. Bruce Wayne Sip's role in Gotham's elite, a double-edged sword. Bruce Wayne's dual identity plays a significant role in his hidden agenda. On the surface, Bruce is a part of Gotham's elite, a billionaire philanthropist who is closely connected to the city's most powerful families and business leaders. This connection, however, is not merely for public appearances. Bruce Wayne, as the owner of Wayne Enterprises, has significant access to the financial and political underpinnings of Gotham. But Bruce's position within Gotham's elite is complicated by his alter ego, Batman. While he presents himself as a model citizen and protector of the city, his true mission is far more subversive. By maintaining this public persona, Bruce Wayne gains access to the very circles that he seeks to expose. He is in a unique position to gather information, leverage his wealth, and manipulate circumstances in a way that a typical outsider could never do. Bruce Wayne's involvement with Gotham's elite allows him to see firsthand how the wealthy, powerful, and corrupt manipulate the system. His ability to play both sides of the equation gives him a tactical advantage. He can attend galas, fundraisers, and business meetings, all while secretly collecting data, investigating corruption, and slowly dismantling the structures of power. As Bruce Wayne, he might appear as one of Gotham's most upstanding citizens, but as Batman, he is working tirelessly to expose the very same people he associates with during the day. This duality could be central to Batman's hidden agenda. By embedding himself within Gotham's elite, Bruce Wayne gains the trust of the very people who are responsible for the city's corruption. His actions, while outwardly philanthropic, may also be a calculated attempt to gather information and strategically position himself to expose the city's darkest secrets. As a member of the elite, Bruce can be in the room when decisions are made, when deals are struck, and when secrets are kept. The motive behind Batman Sit's hidden agenda, a city free from corruption. If Batman's ultimate goal is to unmask the elite's secrets, his motivation might be rooted in a desire for a better Gotham. Unlike the street criminals he faces, Gotham's elite have power and wealth that enable them to perpetuate the city's problems. Batman's mission to fight crime might not be just about justice in the traditional sense. It could be about eliminating the true source of Gotham's suffering, the unaccountable elite who profit from the city's dysfunction. The elite of Gotham, hidden behind their wealth, influence, and power, are the very ones who maintain the cycles of poverty, crime, and corruption that Batman has fought against for years. For Batman, their exposure is not just about bringing individuals to justice. It's about breaking the system that allows these individuals to exist above the law. By uncovering the hidden truths about Gotham's most powerful families, Batman seeks to create a Gotham where wealth and power no longer protect criminals, and justice is equally accessible to everyone. This goal speaks to a deeper sense of justice, one that goes beyond individual crimes and focuses on societal structures that perpetuate injustice. Batman is not just fighting to stop a crime in progress. He is fighting to change the very system that allows Gotham's elite to continue their corruption. His battle is as much about unmasking the truth as it is about transforming the city itself. A legacy of unmasking the corrupt. The long-term impact. Batman's true hidden agenda, when viewed through the lens of exposing Gotham's elite, has the potential to shift the entire balance of power within the city. If he succeeds in unveiling the secrets of the powerful families, criminal organizations, and corrupt political figures, Gotham will have no choice but to confront its darkest truth. It would be a moment of reckoning for the city, one that might lead to systemic reform, where the very structure of power is altered and redefined. The long-term impact of Batman's agenda could be transformative. Exposing the elite's deepest secrets might lead to their downfall, but it would also initiate a change in the way Gotham functions. The social order, long dominated by wealth and influence, could be replaced with a system that prioritizes fairness, accountability, and the well-being of all citizens. Gotham might begin to heal, not through external forces or a singular protector, but through the active participation of its people in rebuilding the system from the ground up. As we continue to explore the hidden agenda of Batman in unmasking the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite, it becomes clear that his fight is not just against individual criminals, but also against the very system of power that has kept Gotham in a state of perpetual corruption. Batman, operating both as the city's protector and as an agent of change, seeks to uncover the layers of corruption that run deep within Gotham's political, financial, and social structures. This pursuit is more than just personal vendetta. It is a deliberate attempt to reshape Gotham's future and free it from the invisible chains that bind it to a corrupt system. Batman's relationship with Gotham City's power brokers. Understanding the complex web, Batman's interactions with Gotham's elite are filled with complexity and subtlety. While he is often at odds with these figures, particularly crime bosses like Carmine Falcone or mobsters like the Penguin, his role as Bruce Wayne allows him to remain connected to Gotham's wealthy and influential families. This connection provides Batman with an inside view of the machinations that govern Gotham's elite, giving him access to information that he would not have as an outsider. But Batman's relationship with Gotham's elite is more than just about gathering intelligence. It is a calculated effort to expose the truth. Bruce Wayne's involvement in high society allows him to form relationships with the very individuals whose actions and influence shape Gotham's destiny. These interactions often place him in uncomfortable situations, forced to play a role he loathes, but they also provide him with opportunities to gain crucial insights into how Gotham's elite operate. Bruce's public persona as a billionaire philanthropist grants him the kind of access that most would consider unattainable. He attends galas, parties, and business meetings, engaging with Gotham's most powerful figures. However, it is this very access that may contribute to his deeper, more covert agenda, collecting evidence and uncovering the skeletons in the closets of Gotham's elite. By maintaining his place in high society, Bruce, as Batman, can operate from within, making him an even more formidable force in his mission to expose the city's corruption. The Court of Owls, a powerful foe in Gotham City's elite. One of the most significant revelations Batman uncovers in his pursuit to expose Gotham's elite is the existence of the Court of Owls. This secret society, composed of Gotham's wealthiest and most influential families, operates from the shadows, pulling the strings of power while maintaining a facade of respectability. The court's role in Gotham's corruption highlights the extent to which the elite have manipulated the city's systems to maintain their wealth and control. The Court of Owls serves as a perfect example of the kind of power structure Batman seeks to dismantle. As a group of the city's wealthiest and most influential families, the court operates with impunity, using their wealth and influence to control everything from political decisions to law enforcement. This secret society is the embodiment of the corruption Batman is working to expose. It is not enough to take down individual criminals. Batman must go after the institutions that shield these figures from justice, and the court is at the heart of this system. Through his investigation into the Court of Owls, Batman begins to realize that the corruption he's fighting is not just a matter of individual greed, it is a systemic issue, one that is deeply embedded in the very institutions that are supposed to protect the public. This understanding drives Batman's hidden agenda further. He is not just trying to stop crime in Gotham, he is attempting to dismantle the very power structures that perpetuate the inequality and injustice that have plagued the city for so long. Batman City's role in exposing corruption. The ethics of vigilantism. While Batman's agenda may involve exposing the secrets of Gotham's elite, his methods are often questioned, particularly by those who believe in due process and the rule of law. As a vigilante operating outside the law, Batman takes matters into his own hands, often circumventing the traditional legal channels in favor of his own brand of justice. This creates a moral dilemma, not only for Batman but for the citizens of Gotham. Is Batman justified in using his own methods to unmask corruption within Gotham's elite? His actions often blur the line between justice and vengeance, forcing him to confront the ethical implications of his vigilantism. Batman believes that the system has failed Gotham, that it has been corrupted beyond repair by those in power, and that it is necessary for him to step in and expose the truth, no matter the cost. In his view, the legal system is too compromised by Gotham's elite to bring about true justice. However, his methods raise the question of whether Batman himself is part of the system of corruption he's fighting against. By operating outside the law, Batman becomes a symbol of power that is not accountable to the public. In his quest to expose Gotham's elite, he must also grapple with the potential dangers of his own unchecked authority. The hidden agenda of Batman, then, is not just about exposing the corrupt elite, but also about confronting the darker aspects of his own mission and ensuring that he does not become the very thing he's trying to defeat. Bruce Wayne City's internal conflict. The burden of duality. As Bruce Wayne, Batman must reconcile his role as a member of Gotham's elite with his mission to dismantle their influence. This internal conflict is a constant source of tension for Bruce as he grapples with the duality of his existence. On one hand, he is a billionaire, a philanthropist, and an heir to the Wayne fortune. On the other hand, he is a vigilante, operating in the shadows, challenging the very system that has allowed his family's wealth and influence to grow. Bruce's internal struggle is compounded by his need to protect his identity as Batman while maintaining his public persona as a respected member of Gotham's elite. The very act of being a part of Gotham's power structure makes it difficult for Bruce to fully distance himself from the corruption he seeks to expose. His wealth, his connections, and his status in society make him complicit in the same system of power and privilege that he is trying to dismantle. This contradiction creates a moral dilemma for Bruce, as he questions whether he can truly be the force for change Gotham needs while also being part of the elite class that perpetuates its darkest secrets. Bruce's desire to expose Gotham's elite is driven not only by his sense of justice, but by the guilt and shame he feels for being a part of the system that allows corruption to thrive. His parents' death and his inheritance of Wayne Enterprises have forced him into a position where he must use his wealth and status to fight the very forces that continue to exploit Gotham. But at the same time, his place within the elite class makes it difficult for him to fully separate himself from the corruption that runs through Gotham's core. The long-term impact of Batman SIP's hidden agenda, a transformed Gotham. If Batman succeeds in unmasking the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite, the long-term consequences could be far-reaching. The exposure of Gotham's corrupt power structures would lead to a fundamental shift in the city's political and social systems. The elite, no longer shielded by their wealth and influence, would face the consequences of their actions, potentially leading to widespread reforms within the city's institutions. However, the revelation of Gotham's elite's darkest secrets would also shake the city to its core. Trust in the very institutions that govern Gotham, its police, its government, and its judicial system, would be irrevocably broken. The exposure of corruption on such a grand scale could lead to public unrest, as the citizens of Gotham come to terms with the extent of the power structures that have been controlling them. Batman's hidden agenda, while aiming to bring justice to the city, may inadvertently set the stage for chaos and upheaval. But in the long run, this disruption could be what Gotham needs to break free from the chains of its past. Batman's ultimate goal might not be simply to expose Gotham's elite, but to pave the way for a new, more just system, one that is built on transparency, accountability, and fairness. Through his actions, Batman may be setting the foundation for a Gotham that no longer relies on power, corruption, and wealth to govern, but on the collective will of its people. As we continue exploring Batman's potential hidden agenda to expose the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite, we begin to uncover how deeply his mission is intertwined with the city's very fabric. Gotham, as a city plagued by inequality and corruption, is a reflection of the power dynamics that Batman seeks to dismantle. As much as his battle is one of fighting crime on the streets, there is a larger, more insidious struggle happening in the corridors of power, in the boardrooms, and behind closed doors. Batman, as the ultimate insider. The paradox of his role. Batman's role in Gotham is paradoxical. While he is an outsider to the system of corruption, his place within Gotham's elite gives him access to its most confidential spaces. As Bruce Wayne, he is deeply entrenched in the political and economic workings of the city. His wealth, his status, and his inherited influence in Wayne Enterprises make him an integral part of the elite class. Yet, as Batman, he has always positioned himself outside of this system, fighting the very same individuals who benefit from the corruption he despises. This dual existence as both Bruce Wayne and Batman allows him to be an insider and an outsider at the same time. It provides him with a unique perspective. He understands the intricacies of Gotham's power structures because he is both part of them and in direct opposition to them. This duality also presents a tactical advantage. Batman can gather information from within the elite circles and then expose the corrupt practices that sustain Gotham's inequality. As an insider, Bruce Wayne can leverage his resources, connections, and wealth to fight against the very system that has kept Gotham under the thumb of its corrupt elite. Bruce Wayne's involvement in Gotham's elite structures also makes him an effective symbol for Batman's ultimate agenda. He is both the protector of Gotham's most vulnerable and a product of its corrupt system. This paradox allows him to infiltrate the very circles of power he seeks to expose, slowly uncovering the truth about those who control the city. His position allows him to work within the system while simultaneously trying to break it down from the inside, making his hidden agenda a far-reaching strategy rather than a series of isolated actions. The Gotham Elite, a system built on hidden secrets. The foundation of Gotham's elite is a complex web of power, wealth, and influence. The city's richest and most powerful families, including the Waynes, the Falcons, and the Cobblepots, have long been intertwined in ways that have allowed them to maintain control over the city's resources, politics, and criminal underworld. These families have historically used their wealth to manipulate the legal system, silence opposition, and maintain a chokehold over Gotham's development. Batman's hidden agenda, then, is not just about confronting individuals, but about dismantling the very structures that allow these families to perpetuate their power. Through his investigation, Batman uncovers that the corruption within Gotham is not a series of isolated events, but a systemic issue. The elite families, businesses, and criminal organizations have intertwined over generations, creating an ecosystem of corruption that thrives on secrecy. The true nature of Gotham's elite is often hidden behind charitable foundations, philanthropic efforts, and public-facing businesses. They project an image of respectability, but behind closed doors they engage in criminal activities, influence the political system, and protect each other from justice. Batman's work, then, is not just about exposing individual acts of crime, but revealing the network of corruption that binds Gotham's elite. His hidden agenda may very well be to dismantle this network piece by piece, exposing the truth about how power has been hoarded and manipulated for so long. Through his detective work, he uncovers how these families have perpetuated cycles of crime and inequality, and in doing so, he lays the groundwork for Gotham's rebirth. The Court of Owls, a symbol of Gotham City's hidden power. One of the most chilling examples of Gotham's hidden power is the Court of Owls, a secret society composed of the city's wealthiest and most influential families. Operating in the shadows, the court has been manipulating Gotham's fate for centuries, controlling everything from political decisions to law enforcement. The court's existence is a direct reflection of the kind of power Batman seeks to unmask, a network of elites whose control over Gotham is so entrenched that they believe they are above reproach. The Court of Owls is perhaps the most significant representation of Gotham's corrupted elite. Unlike other criminal organizations, the court operates on a far more subtle level, manipulating events and people to suit their goals. Their members are among the most powerful in Gotham, and their influence is felt across every sector of society, from the police force to the mayor's office, from the media to the financial sector. The court has its hands in every aspect of the city's operations. For Batman, the court represents the ultimate challenge. Not only are they a powerful adversary, but they also embody the core issue he has been fighting against, the systemic corruption that controls Gotham. The court is a direct manifestation of the elite's unchecked power, and Batman's pursuit to expose them is a crucial element of his hidden agenda. By unraveling the court's influence, Batman seeks to strike at the very heart of Gotham's corruption, dismantling the institution that has allowed the city's elite to maintain their hold on power for so long. Batman City's use of information, the weaponization of knowledge. One of Batman's most powerful tools in his hidden agenda is his vast network of information. Unlike traditional heroes who rely on brute force or brawn, Batman's strength lies in his ability to gather, analyze, and use information. He is a master detective who uses his intellect to uncover secrets, expose corruption, and manipulate situations to his advantage. In his mission to unmask the elite, Batman's use of information becomes his most potent weapon. His ability to gather intelligence from the highest levels of Gotham society gives him the upper hand in exposing the hidden activities of the city's power brokers. Whether through hacking, surveillance, or traditional detective work, Batman leaves no stone unturned in his search for the truth. His network of allies, from Oracle to Alfred, helps him in his pursuit of information, enabling him to stay one step ahead of the powerful individuals he seeks to expose. The exposure of Gotham's elite is not just about revealing their criminal activities, it's about revealing how deeply their influence permeates every corner of Gotham's society. Batman uses the information he uncovers to systematically break down the barriers of power, working from the inside out. The more secrets he exposes, the more Gotham's elite lose their grip on the city. The ethical dilemma. Can Batman remain a force for good while exposing Gotham's elite? As Batman continues his pursuit to expose Gotham's elite, he faces an ethical dilemma. While his actions are driven by a desire to rid the city of corruption, the methods he employs are often unconventional and morally ambiguous. As a vigilante operating outside the law, Batman's actions raise questions about the ethical boundaries of justice. Is he justified in using methods that are outside the legal framework? How far is he willing to go in his mission to unmask Gotham's elite? Batman's willingness to operate outside the law, his manipulation of public figures, and his subversive tactics all point to a moral complexity that challenges the traditional understanding of justice. His desire to expose corruption can sometimes blur the line between hero and villain. Batman's methods might be questioned, but the truth is that Gotham's elite are not easily reached through traditional channels. The city's power structures are so deeply entrenched that it requires someone willing to take extreme measures to dismantle them. This dilemma raises important questions about the nature of justice in a city as corrupt as Gotham. Can Batman remain a force for good while using methods that undermine the very system of law and order he is fighting to protect? Ultimately, his hidden agenda to expose Gotham's elite reflects a deeper understanding of justice, one that is not about adhering to the letter of the law, but about exposing the truth and ensuring that Gotham's most powerful are held accountable for their actions. Batman's continued pursuit of Gotham's elite goes beyond a simple battle for justice. It is a direct challenge to the status quo of the city. His deep understanding of Gotham's power structures, combined with his insider access, allows him to target the hidden networks of corruption that perpetuate the inequality and violence that plague the city. His hidden agenda is not just about exposing the criminal activity of Gotham's elite, it's about unmasking the way their wealth, influence, and power corrupt the very foundation of Gotham's political, economic, and social systems. To dismantle these systems, Batman must first navigate the complex web of loyalty, secrecy, and ambition that keeps Gotham's elite in control. The psychological warfare of exposing Gotham City's elite. One of Batman's most effective strategies in unmasking the elite is his use of psychological warfare. Gotham's criminals and corrupt elites are no strangers to manipulation, control, and intimidation. Over the years, Batman has developed a keen understanding of the minds of his adversaries. He uses this knowledge to expose their deepest fears, secrets, and vulnerabilities, pushing them to reveal their corruption. By using fear as a tool, Batman is able to destabilize Gotham's power structures in a way that a more conventional approach would never be able to. However, Batman's use of fear is not limited to the criminals on the streets. His psychological tactics extend to the city's elite as well. He operates in the shadows, gathering information on Gotham's most powerful figures, watching and waiting for the right moment to strike. His calculated approach forces Gotham's elite to act out of self-preservation, revealing cracks in their carefully constructed facades of respectability. Batman's ultimate goal is to expose their true nature, showing Gotham that these figures, who have long hidden behind wealth and power, are no different from the criminals Batman regularly brings to justice. The manipulation of Gotham's elite also serves to break down their control over the city. By drawing attention to their hidden connections to crime, corruption, and violence, Batman shifts public perception and sows distrust in the very institutions that have been protecting the corrupt. His efforts to uncover the truth serve not only to bring down individuals, but also to challenge the very systems that have allowed them to operate with impunity. The more Batman exposes, the more Gotham citizens wake up to the fact that their city's problems stem from the people they have trusted to lead and protect them. The role of Bruce Wayne, manipulating Gotham City's elite from within. Bruce Wayne's dual identity is one of the most important aspects of Batman's hidden agenda. As the heir to Wayne Enterprises, Bruce Wayne is a key figure in Gotham's elite. His wealth and status grant him access to powerful individuals and key institutions in the city, and this access is crucial to his ultimate mission. While Bruce Wayne publicly operates as a philanthropist and businessman, Batman uses this position to manipulate Gotham's elite from within. His role in Wayne Enterprises allows him to gather information, create alliances, and subtly undermine the very systems that he is working to expose. Bruce's ability to navigate both the world of Gotham's elite and the criminal underworld makes him uniquely positioned to orchestrate the exposure of Gotham's darkest secrets. He has a foot in both worlds, and his ability to move between them allows him to gather intelligence that would otherwise be inaccessible. His interactions with key figures in the city, from politicians to business magnates, give him an inside look at how Gotham's power structures operate. As Bruce Wayne, he can access boardrooms, city council meetings, and social gatherings where Gotham's elite discuss their plans and secure their positions of power. However, this dual identity also creates a complex moral conflict for Bruce Wayne. While Batman seeks to expose the corruption within Gotham's elite, Bruce Wayne is simultaneously bound to the very system he seeks to dismantle. His wealth, his inheritance, and his position within Gotham's high society are integral to his identity as a Wayne. The tension between his desire to use his resources for the betterment of the city and his realization that the same systems he is trying to change have allowed him to live in luxury is a constant source of inner conflict. In some ways, Bruce's wealth and status make him complicit in the very system he despises, adding a layer of complexity to his hidden agenda. Is he truly an outsider fighting for justice, or is he merely another cog in the machine, seeking to expose the faults of the system while benefiting from it? Batman sips strategy of subversion, turning the elite against each other. To expose Gotham's elite, Batman doesn't rely solely on brute force or physical confrontations. His strategy often involves subtle subversion, turning the powerful against one another and sowing discord within their ranks. By exploiting the rivalries, fears, and ambitions that exist between Gotham's elite families and business leaders, Batman creates a fractured system that eventually implodes under its own weight. One of the most powerful tools in Batman's arsenal is his ability to manipulate information. He uses his detective skills and access to Gotham's powerful networks to gather secrets and expose them at just the right moment. By feeding information to the right people, Batman sparks distrust and paranoia among Gotham's elite. These figures, who have long believed themselves untouchable, are now forced to question their alliances and confront their own corruption. Batman's ability to turn Gotham's elite against one another is a direct challenge to their control over the city. By manipulating power struggles and fanning the flames of betrayal, Batman forces them into a position where they can no longer maintain their dominance. As the walls close in on Gotham's most powerful families, they begin to turn on each other, revealing their darkest secrets in a desperate attempt to protect their own interests. This internal collapse paves the way for a shift in the city's power structure, one that is not dictated by wealth and influence, but by the will of the people. The consequences of unmasking Gotham City's elite, public unrest and rebuilding. The exposure of Gotham's elite will not come without consequences. As Batman continues to unmask the corruption at the heart of Gotham's power structure, the city will inevitably face a period of turmoil. The revelations about the true nature of Gotham's elite, individuals who have used their power to exploit the city's resources and maintain a cycle of injustice, will shake the very foundations of Gotham's social and political systems. Public unrest is likely to follow. Citizens, who have long been disenfranchised by the elite, will begin to question the institutions that have kept them in a state of poverty and fear. Gotham's police force, judicial system, and political leadership, all of which have been complicit in the corruption, will face widespread distrust. The city's legal and political systems may be thrown into chaos as the public demands accountability and reform. In the aftermath of these revelations, Gotham will need to rebuild. The process of exposing the elite and dismantling the corrupt systems they built will require a new kind of leadership, one that is rooted in transparency, fairness, and justice. Batman's hidden agenda, while focused on exposing the truth, must also consider the aftermath. The elite will be held accountable, but what will replace them? What systems will rise from the ashes of Gotham's old order? Batman's ultimate goal may not just be to expose the elite, but to create a foundation for a new Gotham, one where justice is not determined by wealth and power, but by the collective will of the city's people. This rebuilding process will take time, and it will require the involvement of Gotham's citizens. It may be a long road, but the end result could be a city that is no longer controlled by corruption, where the people are empowered to take ownership of their future. The lasting impact of Batman City's hidden agenda, a Gotham free from the chains of its elite. If Batman succeeds in exposing the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite, the long-term impact on the city will be profound. The elite's stranglehold on Gotham will be broken, but the city's future will depend on how it rebuilds in the wake of these revelations. Gotham will face a period of uncertainty, but the potential for transformation is immense. Batman's hidden agenda is not just about exposing the corrupt. It's about creating a city where the powerful are no longer above the law, and the people have the opportunity to create a more just and equitable society. In unmasking the elite, Batman may be the catalyst for a greater social revolution, one where Gotham, freed from the chains of its past, can rise anew. As Gotham's future begins to unfold, Batman's hidden agenda, which centers around unmasking the darkest secrets of the city's elite, may be the most crucial factor in reshaping the city's destiny. The consequences of his mission will be far-reaching, not only for Gotham's criminal and political systems, but also for its very identity. Gotham, as a city built on corruption, has always been defined by its complex relationships between power, wealth, and crime. However, the exposure of its elite will create a moment of reckoning, one that will force Gotham to confront its deepest flaws and reevaluate what it means to be a city governed by justice. A city at the crossroads. The fallout of exposing Gotham City's elite. The exposure of Gotham's elite will undoubtedly throw the city into turmoil. For years, these powerful figures have operated behind the scenes, pulling the strings of Gotham's political and social systems. The public revelations about their ties to organized crime, corruption, and illegal activities will shake the trust that the city's citizens have in their institutions. The legal and political systems, which have long been controlled by the elite, will be undermined, and the city will be forced to confront the truth. The immediate fallout from the exposure will likely be chaotic. The elite will do everything in their power to maintain their grip on the city, using their wealth, influence, and networks to protect themselves. Public distrust will reach its peak as citizens demand accountability, and the institutions that have long protected the elite will be called into question. The very fabric of Gotham's power structure will begin to unravel, and in the absence of established order, the city will face a battle for control. In the midst of this chaos, Batman will be forced to step back and assess the consequences of his actions. While his ultimate goal is to free Gotham from the hold of its corrupt elite, he must also navigate the aftermath of the exposure. What happens when the system that has been protecting the powerful is dismantled? How does a city begin to rebuild when its foundations have been shaken to their core? Batman's hidden agenda may be more than just about exposing the corrupt. It may also be about helping Gotham rebuild and redefine itself after the collapse of its old order. Rebuilding Gotham, the need for structural change. The exposure of Gotham's elite will be a pivotal moment in the city's history. In the wake of this revelation, Gotham will have two choices. It can either fall into complete chaos, or it can take this opportunity to rebuild from the ground up. The exposure of the elite's secrets will likely create a power vacuum, with various factions vying for control over the city. However, if Gotham is to move forward, it will need to ensure that this vacuum is filled not by another corrupt group, but by a new system that values transparency, justice, and accountability. For Batman, the real challenge will not be the destruction of Gotham's elite. It will be the creation of a new system that works for the people, not for the powerful. Gotham's citizens must be empowered to take an active role in the city's reconstruction. This means ensuring that the political system is rebuilt to reflect the needs of all residents, not just the wealthy. Gotham's justice system must be overhauled to prevent further corruption, and the city's economy must be structured to prioritize the well-being of its citizens over the profit-driven interests of the elite. Batman, in his capacity as Gotham's protector, will need to support this process. His mission will not be just about fighting criminals, but about ensuring that the city's institutions are reformed to prevent the rise of new corruption. He will need to work with community leaders, politicians, and citizens to create a new order in Gotham, one that prioritizes fairness, justice, and equality. The question remains, however, can Batman, as an outsider to the system, truly lead Gotham into this new era? Is he capable of overcoming his own distrust of the city's institutions to help them rebuild from within? While he may have the skills to dismantle the power structures of Gotham's elite, rebuilding them will require a different kind of leadership, one that involves cooperation, collaboration, and a willingness to engage with the very systems Batman has always fought against. The new heroes of Gotham, building a future together. The aftermath of exposing Gotham's elite will not be just about Batman. It will be about the people of Gotham coming together to rebuild their city. Gotham's future lies in the hands of its citizens, who must rise to the occasion and become active participants in shaping the city's future. While Batman will remain a symbol of justice and a force for change, the true heroes of Gotham will be the people who stand beside him, those who work together to rebuild the city's institutions, create new opportunities, and fight for justice on a day-to-day basis. In the wake of Gotham's transformation, Batman will play a crucial role in mentoring the next generation of heroes. Gotham's new leaders will emerge from its neighborhoods, its schools, and its communities. They will be the ones to continue the work that Batman has started, fighting for justice, protecting the vulnerable, and ensuring that Gotham remains free from the corruption that has held it captive for so long. The rise of new heroes in Gotham will be central to its recovery. These heroes will not just be vigilantes like Batman, they will be community organizers, social workers, teachers, and everyday citizens who have taken it upon themselves to make Gotham a better place. The true strength of Gotham lies not in a singular figure but in the collective efforts of its people. Batman's hidden agenda, in this sense, is not just about exposing the elite. It is about empowering Gotham's people to take control of their future. His role, though critical, is ultimately to pass the torch to the next generation. The city's rebirth will depend on the resilience, determination, and compassion of those who choose to build a better Gotham. The ultimate legacy of Batman, a city reborn. In the end, Batman's hidden agenda will have lasting consequences for both Gotham and its residents. By exposing the corruption within Gotham's elite, he will have opened the door to a new future, a future where the people are in control, where justice is not determined by wealth or influence, but by the collective will of the citizens. Gotham's transformation will be a long and difficult process, but the city's greatest strength lies in the fact that it has already begun the journey. Batman's legacy will not be defined by his actions alone. It will be defined by the way Gotham rises from the ashes of its past. Gotham will no longer be a city defined by corruption, fear, and inequality. It will be a city defined by hope, justice, and opportunity for all. Batman's hidden agenda, once fully realized, will have given Gotham the chance to free itself from the shackles of its past and step into a brighter future. The real victory for Batman will not be in defeating the elite, but in the moment when Gotham no longer needs a dark knight to protect it. Gotham's true hero will be the city itself, the people who choose to stand together, fight for justice, and create a society where power is shared and corruption is no longer tolerated. Batman may have started the journey, but it is Gotham's citizens who will finish it. As Gotham begins to rebuild itself, the shadow of its dark past still looms, but its future is shaped by the collective resolve of its citizens. While Batman's actions have exposed the darkest secrets of Gotham's elite, the true test lies in the city's ability to create a sustainable and just system that operates not on fear or corruption, but on fairness, accountability, and transparency. Batman's mission, while having dealt a decisive blow to the corrupt power structures, must now evolve into one that ensures Gotham's progress is not derailed by the forces that once dominated it. Gotham City's evolution into a city of justice. The fight against Gotham's elite has never been a simple matter of unmasking villains in suits. The corruption that Batman has fought for so long is systemic, deeply rooted in the very institutions that hold the city together. For Gotham to truly heal, the changes must go beyond the personal battles that Batman wages. The city needs to rethink its institutions and power structures, from the police force to its courts to its city council. Reforming these institutions won't be easy. Batman, as a vigilante, has always operated outside of Gotham's formal systems of law and order. However, Gotham's recovery will require the very systems Batman has often bypassed to be reformed from the inside out. This transformation will demand that Gotham's people reclaim control over the systems that have long been manipulated by the elite. The city will need leaders who are willing to challenge the status quo and push for policies that benefit the many, not just the few. The reform of Gotham's police force, once riddled with corruption and ties to criminal organizations, will be a vital part of this transformation. The people of Gotham must work to rebuild trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve. New police leadership must be established, one that embraces transparency, accountability, and a commitment to protecting all of Gotham's residents, regardless of their status or wealth. This will be a difficult process, but it will be essential to building a city where justice is not reserved for the privileged few. Political reformation, the end of corrupt alliances. Batman's efforts to expose the elite's corruption also extend to the political landscape of Gotham. The city's political system has long been a breeding ground for corruption, with influential figures using their power to shield criminals, manipulate elections, and control the flow of resources. Batman's mission to dismantle these networks is vital to restoring integrity to Gotham's governance. Reforming Gotham's political system will require new leadership, individuals who are not tainted by the corruption that has infected the old guard. Citizens of Gotham must take an active role in the political process, ensuring that those in power are held accountable for their actions. The work of Gotham's new heroes, those who seek justice, not through masks and capes but through laws and public service, will be pivotal in this process. In the aftermath of Batman's efforts to expose the elite, there may be a groundswell of political activism from the citizens of Gotham. They will demand more from their leaders, demanding transparency and accountability in the way the city is governed. This newfound activism could lead to the establishment of new political parties, movements, or even grassroots organizations that challenge the old guard and push for policies that prioritize social justice, equity, and environmental sustainability. Gotham SIP's economy, from wealth to equity. One of the most pressing challenges for Gotham will be the transformation of its economy. For too long, the city's wealth has been concentrated in the hands of a few elite families, while the vast majority of Gotham's residents struggle with poverty, unemployment, and lack of access to opportunity. Batman's work has exposed the ways in which these economic inequalities have been perpetuated by the city's powerful families. But now it is up to the people of Gotham to address the root causes of economic injustice. Gotham's recovery will require a fundamental shift in how its economy operates. The city needs to create a more equitable system, one that ensures that wealth is distributed fairly and that all residents, regardless of their social class, have access to the resources they need to succeed. This will require an overhaul of the city's labor market, the establishment of fair wages, and a commitment to creating job opportunities for all of Gotham's citizens. A major aspect of Gotham's economic recovery will also involve the rebuilding of its infrastructure. As Batman's efforts to expose the elite have shown, the city's infrastructure has been neglected and used to enrich the powerful at the expense of the city's poor. By investing in sustainable infrastructure, such as renewable energy, affordable housing, and public transportation, Gotham can create a new economy that benefits everyone, not just the wealthy few. The rise of new heroes, reclaiming Gotham from the shadows. As Gotham transitions into a new era, the role of its heroes will change. Batman's mission, while undeniably crucial, cannot sustain Gotham's transformation on its own. Gotham will need new heroes, individuals who are committed to justice, not just in the shadows, but in every aspect of society. These new heroes will not only fight crime, but will actively work to rebuild Gotham's institutions, challenge corruption, and ensure that the city's future is built on principles of fairness and equality. Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin, along with Gotham's citizens, will play a critical role in this new era. They will lead the charge in building a more inclusive city, ensuring that every voice is heard and that justice is accessible to all. These heroes will fight for a Gotham that no longer needs a dark knight to protect it, because it is a place where justice, fairness, and accountability are the foundations of its governance. The next generation of Gotham's heroes will also be those who take to the streets as community organizers, activists, and social workers. They will fight for justice, not just through physical confrontations, but through the rebuilding of social structures that support the vulnerable and oppressed. These individuals will embody the values that Batman instilled in Gotham's people, values of resilience, hope, and the power of collective action. The long-term vision, a Gotham transformed. The long-term vision for Gotham's future is one where it no longer relies on a singular protector to keep it safe. Gotham's transformation must be driven by its people, the same citizens who have long endured the corruption and crime that has plagued the city. By creating a city where justice is no longer determined by wealth, status, or power, Gotham will become a place where every resident has the opportunity to thrive. For this transformation to be successful, it will require continuous effort, constant vigilance, and a commitment to never returning to the old ways. Gotham's citizens must remain active participants in the process of rebuilding, ensuring that their voices are heard and that their needs are met. The city's political, social, and economic systems must continue to evolve to reflect the changing values of its people. Batman's hidden agenda has always been to expose the corruption at the heart of Gotham's elite. However, the true success of his mission will lie in how Gotham adapts in the aftermath. The exposure of Gotham's elite is just the first step in a larger journey, a journey where Gotham's people must unite to create a better, more just future for their city. The legacy of Batman will not be defined by the villains he defeated or the battles he fought, but by the city he helped create. Gotham, once a city of despair, will rise to become a beacon of hope for other cities struggling with corruption and inequality. By unmasking the secrets of Gotham's elite, Batman has paved the way for a future where the city is no longer ruled by fear, but by the collective strength of its people. As Gotham continues its transformation, the challenges it faces are far from over. The exposure of its elite and the subsequent disruption of its power structures will have long-lasting implications on the city. However, Gotham's recovery will be a reflection of its resilience, its capacity to learn from its past, and its commitment to justice and unity. This is not a city that will simply recover and return to its old ways. It is a city that will redefine what it means to be a truly just society. Gotham SIP's relationship with its citizens, a shift in power dynamics. One of the most significant outcomes of Batman's hidden agenda will be the shift in power dynamics within the city. For too long, Gotham's elite, its wealthiest families, influential business leaders, and corrupt politicians controlled the city's fate. The people of Gotham were at the mercy of these figures, left to live in a system that perpetuated crime, inequality, and fear. Batman's actions have forced the elite into the spotlight, and the subsequent exposure of their darkest secrets has shaken the foundations of their control. This moment of reckoning will not only change the elite, but will alter the relationship between Gotham's citizens and the systems that govern them. No longer will the people of Gotham accept the status quo. They will demand more from their city, and they will hold their leaders accountable in ways they never have before. The power that Gotham's elite once held will be dismantled, piece by piece. But this will not result in chaos. It will result in the people of Gotham finally stepping into their rightful place as the true drivers of the city's future. The change may be gradual, but it will be permanent. Gotham's new leaders will rise from within the communities that have long been neglected, individuals who understand the needs of the city's most vulnerable. The city will be governed not by the wealthy and powerful, but by those who are dedicated to ensuring justice, equality, and fairness for all. Gotham City's economic future, creating opportunities for all. One of the central goals of Gotham's transformation will be to shift focus from a wealth-driven economy to one that prioritizes opportunity for all its residents. Gotham's elite have long used their influence to manipulate the city's economic systems to their advantage, creating an economy that benefits only a small fraction of the population. Batman's exposure of their corruption and the subsequent dismantling of their power will create space for a new economic model, one that works for everyone, not just the privileged few. The future of Gotham's economy lies in creating equitable opportunities for all of its residents. This means investing in education, job creation, and social programs that provide opportunities for those who have been historically marginalized. Gotham's future economy will be built on innovation, sustainability, and inclusivity, ensuring that every citizen has the chance to contribute to the city's growth. Central to this economic shift will be the reallocation of resources that were once hoarded by the elite. Gotham's recovery will require a focus on rebuilding neighborhoods that have been neglected, providing affordable housing, creating job opportunities, and investing in the city's public infrastructure. By shifting focus to these areas, Gotham will create a thriving, diverse economy that benefits all of its citizens, not just the wealthy elite. The role of technology, empowering Gotham's citizens. Technology will play a pivotal role in Gotham's future as the city moves toward rebuilding in a more sustainable and transparent way. Batman's use of technology throughout his career has been essential to his detective work and his ability to uncover the secrets of Gotham's elite. However, as Gotham evolves, technology will become a force for good in the city's transformation. The expansion of public access to technology will allow Gotham's residents to become more connected, informed, and empowered. Community-driven platforms, smart infrastructure, and open access data will enable citizens to participate in the decision-making process in ways they never have before. Technology will be used not only to monitor the health of the city's infrastructure, but also to ensure that the systems in place are working for the people and not for the powerful. Gotham's public services, including healthcare, education, and safety, will benefit from technological advancements that make them more efficient, accessible, and equitable. By integrating sustainable technologies and innovative systems into the city's core, Gotham will set an example for other cities, demonstrating that technology can be used to create a more just and equitable society. Justice in a new Gotham, ensuring accountability. As Gotham rebuilds, one of the most crucial elements of its recovery will be ensuring that the justice system is reformed and held accountable. The city's legal and judicial systems have long been tainted by corruption and a lack of accountability, making it difficult for residents to trust in the rule of law. Batman's hidden agenda to expose Gotham's elite has shed light on the ways in which these institutions have been manipulated for personal gain. Now Gotham must ensure that these systems are restored to their rightful purpose, serving the people with fairness and equity. Reforming Gotham's justice system will require a complete overhaul. The police force, which has long been riddled with corruption, will need to be restructured to reflect the values of transparency, accountability, and service to the community. The court system, too, must be reformed to ensure that it is no longer biased in favor of the wealthy and powerful. This means creating a system that is fair, impartial, and accessible to all residents, regardless of their social or economic status. A critical part of this process will involve establishing civilian oversight and ensuring that the public has a voice in the way justice is administered. By making the justice system more transparent and participatory, Gotham can restore trust in its institutions and build a system that is truly dedicated to serving the people. A Gotham United. The path forward. Gotham's transformation, while still in its early stages, is already an inspiring example of what can be achieved when a city is committed to justice and equity. The exposure of Gotham's elite has been the catalyst for change, but the true success of this transformation will depend on the city's ability to work together. Gotham's future will be shaped not just by Batman and his allies, but by the people who call it home. As Gotham emerges from the shadows of its past, it must focus on building a future that is inclusive, fair, and sustainable. The new Gotham will be a place where every citizen has a role to play, where justice is not reserved for the few, but for all. Gotham's recovery will require cooperation, collaboration, and a collective effort from every resident to rebuild the city into something better, something greater than it ever was before. Batman's hidden agenda has been about more than just exposing corruption. It has been about creating the conditions for a new Gotham, a city where its citizens no longer live under the shadow of fear, corruption, and inequality. The next generation of Gotham's leaders, heroes, and citizens will continue the work that Batman has started, ensuring that Gotham never again falls into the hands of those who would exploit it for their own gain. In the end, Gotham will stand as a symbol of hope for all cities struggling with corruption and inequality. The legacy of Batman, while complex and multifaceted, will be defined not by his actions alone, but by the transformation he has sparked in the hearts of Gotham's citizens. Gotham's future, once uncertain, is now full of possibility, a future where justice, fairness, and opportunity are no longer ideals, but reality for all. As Gotham enters its next phase, it is clear that its journey from a city of corruption to one of justice and hope is far from over. The work that Batman began by exposing the corruption of the elite will continue, but the true power to reshape Gotham's destiny now lies with its citizens. Gotham's transformation requires not just the dismantling of the old systems, but the building of new ones that are fair, inclusive, and transparent. The role of Gotham City's heroes, guardians of change. Gotham's heroes have long been symbols of hope and resilience, standing firm against the forces of darkness that have plagued the city. However, as the city transitions into a new era, the role of its heroes will evolve. The vigilantes who once fought crime in the shadows will now become active participants in the city's reconstruction, not just as protectors of justice, but as leaders of a movement for systemic change. Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and the entire Bat family will take on more than just the responsibility of fighting crime. They will play a critical role in the rebuilding of Gotham's institutions, working alongside citizens, leaders, and activists to create a more just and equitable society. These heroes will use their influence to ensure that the lessons learned from the past are not forgotten, and that Gotham never returns to the days of corruption and inequality. Gotham's new heroes will also come from its communities. The residents, who once disempowered and marginalized, will now rise up to take control of their city's future. These new leaders will take on roles in politics, education, social justice, and activism, ensuring that Gotham's transformation is not just a temporary shift, but a lasting revolution. The new generation of Gotham's heroes will understand that true heroism is not just about defeating criminals, but about rebuilding systems that serve the needs of all. They will work to ensure that Gotham is a city where justice is accessible, where power is shared, and where the people have the authority to shape their own future. Gotham City's political landscape, rebuilding trust and accountability. One of the most crucial areas of Gotham's transformation will be its political system. For decades, Gotham's politics have been shaped by the elite, who have used their influence to maintain control over the city's resources and institutions. This corruption, hidden behind the facades of philanthropy and civic duty, has undermined the trust between the city's residents and their elected leaders. In the aftermath of the elite's exposure, Gotham's political system must undergo a complete overhaul. The city's citizens, empowered by their newfound knowledge of the corruption that has shaped their world, will demand leaders who are transparent, accountable, and truly dedicated to serving the people. No longer will Gotham stand for political dynasties and backroom deals. The people of Gotham will insist on leadership that reflects their values of justice, equality, and opportunity for all. This shift will not be easy. It will require the dismantling of old power structures and the creation of new systems that reflect the true needs of Gotham's residents. Public offices will no longer be occupied by individuals who serve their own interests, but by public servants who are genuinely dedicated to improving the lives of the people. Political reforms will include greater accountability, campaign finance reform, and a focus on ensuring that the voices of marginalized communities are heard and respected. Economic justice. Building an inclusive economy. One of Gotham's most significant challenges in its recovery will be addressing the deep economic inequalities that have persisted for generations. The city's elite have long used their wealth to maintain their power, creating an economy that benefits only a select few while leaving the majority of Gotham's citizens in poverty. Batman's exposure of this system has opened the door to a new economic vision, one that prioritizes the well-being of all residents over the profits of the powerful. The first step in this economic transformation will be the redistribution of resources. Gotham must invest in programs that lift up its most vulnerable populations, those who have been left behind by the old economic system. This includes access to education, job training, healthcare, and affordable housing. Gotham's leaders will need to create a new economic model that prioritizes equity, ensuring that all citizens have the tools and opportunities to succeed. Investing in small businesses, particularly those owned by minorities and marginalized groups, will be critical in creating a more diverse and robust economy. Gotham citizens will be encouraged to support local businesses, and new policies will be put in place to help these businesses thrive. The city will also invest in renewable energy, technology, and sustainable industries, creating jobs and reducing Gotham's environmental footprint. Restorative justice and the healing of Gotham City's social fabric. Gotham's recovery will also involve a focus on healing the deep social wounds that have been caused by years of violence, corruption, and inequality. The city's residents have lived through decades of trauma, and it is essential that the process of healing begins with a focus on restorative justice. Rather than focusing solely on punishment, the city will prioritize healing and reconciliation for both victims and offenders. Restorative justice programs will provide opportunities for dialogue, accountability, and rehabilitation. These programs will not only focus on those who have committed crimes, but also on the communities that have been harmed by Gotham's social inequalities. By focusing on healing rather than retribution, Gotham can begin to rebuild the trust and unity that have been shattered by years of corruption. Education will play a key role in this healing process. Gotham schools will be revamped to focus not only on academic achievement, but also on emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, and community building. By teaching the next generation the importance of empathy, cooperation, and mutual respect, Gotham can foster a culture of peace and understanding that will carry the city forward into a brighter future. Gotham City's global role, a model for urban transformation. As Gotham continues to rebuild, its success will serve as a model for other cities around the world. The city's recovery, marked by political, economic, and social transformation, will offer a blueprint for cities struggling with corruption, inequality, and crime. Gotham's story will show that even the most broken cities can be healed, and that real change is possible when communities come together to fight for justice. Gotham's leaders and citizens will engage with global organizations, sharing their experiences and insights into how cities can rebuild from within. Gotham will become a hub for innovation and social justice, with international collaborations focused on addressing issues such as poverty, climate change, and human rights. The city will embrace its new identity as a leader in global transformation, showing the world that it is possible to create a city where every resident has the opportunity to succeed and live with dignity. Gotham's new identity, a city of hope. Ultimately, Gotham's transformation will result in the creation of a city that is no longer defined by its past, but by its future. A city that has risen from the ashes of corruption and inequality. Gotham will stand as a testament to the power of unity, resilience, and collective action. Batman's legacy will not be one of destruction, but of creation, a legacy built on the idea that true justice is not about punishing criminals, but about dismantling the systems of power that allow injustice to thrive. Gotham's future will be one where hope replaces fear, where opportunity replaces inequality, and where the people, not the powerful elite, are the true drivers of the city's destiny. It will be a city that shows the world that change is possible, that even in the darkest of times, a brighter future can be built through the collective will of the people. As Gotham's recovery takes shape, its path forward is not without new challenges. The aftermath of exposing the city's elite and dismantling the corrupt systems that once governed it will have lasting consequences. As Gotham rebuilds, the city will encounter growing pains, periods of uncertainty, moments of struggle, and the inevitable pushback from the forces that once controlled its power. However, Gotham's commitment to justice, equity, and sustainability will guide it through these obstacles, ensuring that the city emerges stronger and more unified. The resilience of Gotham City's citizens. A collective effort. One of the key elements of Gotham's transformation is the resilience of its citizens. Over the years, Gotham's residents have endured unimaginable hardship, living under the shadow of crime, corruption, and fear. Yet, despite this, the city's people have shown remarkable strength, and their collective will is now the driving force behind Gotham's recovery. The fight for Gotham's future is no longer in the hands of a few elite individuals or vigilantes. It is in the hands of the people, every citizen who has been affected by the city's struggles and who now has a stake in rebuilding it. Gotham citizens will play an integral role in ensuring that the changes initiated by Batman and the city's heroes are not only preserved but expanded upon. They will be the ones to demand that justice is upheld, that the city's resources are used equitably, and that Gotham remains a place where every individual has the opportunity to thrive. This shift from dependence on powerful individuals to collective responsibility is one of Gotham's greatest strengths. No longer will the city rely on one protector or the whims of the elite to define its future. Instead, the people will step up to ensure that Gotham is a city where justice, equality, and opportunity are not just ideals but realities. Gotham sips cultural rebirth, a new identity. As Gotham rises from the ashes of its past, it will need to create a new identity, one that reflects the values of its people. For too long, the city has been defined by its corruption, crime, and the unchecked power of its elite. But the Gotham of the future will be one where culture, creativity, and community are celebrated. Gotham's cultural scene, which has long been overshadowed by crime and corruption, will undergo a renaissance. Artists, musicians, writers, and creators from all walks of life will come together to redefine what it means to live in Gotham. Public art projects, community festivals, and cultural initiatives will take center stage, allowing Gotham's residents to express themselves and contribute to the city's new identity. These cultural movements will not only serve as a form of expression, but also as a means of healing. Art and creativity will be tools for Gotham's recovery, helping the city's residents to process their trauma, celebrate their successes, and unite in their shared vision for the future. Gotham's transformation will be reflected in the creativity and energy of its people, making it a city where culture thrives alongside justice and equality. Education and empowerment, preparing Gotham for the future. Central to Gotham's recovery will be a complete reimagining of its education system. For too long, Gotham schools have struggled with underfunding, inequality, and a lack of resources. The city's future depends on ensuring that every child, regardless of their background, has access to the education they need to succeed. Gotham's new leadership will prioritize investment in education, ensuring that schools are properly funded, teachers are supported, and students have access to the tools they need to succeed. This will include investing in STEM programs, arts education, and vocational training to prepare students for a wide range of careers. In addition to traditional education, Gotham will also focus on empowering its residents through community-driven programs that provide access to job training, mentorship, and career development. These programs will help to break the cycles of poverty and provide opportunities for people to build successful lives. By investing in education and empowerment, Gotham will create a future where every resident has the opportunity to contribute to the city's growth and prosperity. Environmental justice, a sustainable Gotham. In addition to social and economic reform, Gotham's recovery will also require a commitment to environmental justice. The city, which has long struggled with pollution, waste, and environmental degradation, must now prioritize sustainability as part of its rebuilding process. Gotham's leaders will need to invest in green infrastructure, upgrading the city's transportation systems, creating more green spaces, and promoting sustainable building practices. The city will also need to tackle the environmental challenges that disproportionately affect its most vulnerable populations, ensuring that environmental policy is designed to benefit everyone, especially those who have been historically marginalized. Gotham's commitment to sustainability will not only help address climate change, but will also create jobs, improve public health, and contribute to a higher quality of life for its residents. The city will serve as a model for urban sustainability, showing that it is possible to create a thriving, eco-friendly city that is built on justice, equity, and care for the environment. The role of Gotham Sips, heroes in the new era. While Gotham's transformation is ultimately driven by its people, its heroes, both old and new, will continue to play a vital role in the city's recovery. Batman's legacy will continue to inspire those who take up the mantle of justice, but the role of Gotham's heroes will evolve. The next generation of Gotham's heroes will be those who work not only to protect the city from external threats, but also to ensure that the city's systems function in a way that serves the needs of all its residents. These new heroes will be community leaders, social workers, advocates, and educators who work within the systems to effect positive change. They will fight not just against crime, but against the systemic forces that perpetuate inequality, corruption, and injustice. Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin will continue to be protectors of Gotham, but their roles will be expanded to include the fight for political reform, social justice, and economic equality. Their work will be deeply integrated with the communities they serve, ensuring that Gotham's recovery is not just about fighting criminals, but about creating a city that is fair and just for everyone. The global impact of Gotham City's rebirth. Gotham's story of recovery and transformation will resonate far beyond its own borders. As a city that has long been plagued by corruption and violence, Gotham's resurgence will serve as a beacon of hope for other cities around the world that struggle with similar challenges. Gotham will become a symbol of what is possible when a city's residents come together to reclaim their power and rebuild their institutions. International partnerships will emerge as Gotham shares its experiences with the world. The city's leaders will work with global organizations to promote social justice, economic equality, and environmental sustainability. Gotham's work in the areas of restorative justice, community engagement, and urban sustainability will inspire other cities to follow suit, creating a ripple effect of positive change that reaches across the globe. Gotham's legacy will not only be one of local transformation, but of global influence. It will be a city that shows the world that it is possible to rise from the ashes of corruption and rebuild into something better. The lessons learned from Gotham's recovery will provide a roadmap for other cities to follow, proving that change is possible even in the most challenging environments. As Gotham looks toward its future, the task of maintaining its newfound progress and ensuring that the city remains free from the corruption of the past becomes paramount. The exposure of the elite's darkest secrets was just the beginning. Now Gotham must guard against the return of the very forces that once held it captive, the desire for power, wealth, and unchecked influence. Gotham's transformation is a process that will require constant vigilance, adaptability, and a deep commitment to the principles of justice, equality, and shared responsibility. The role of institutions in Gotham City's long-term recovery. While the initial changes in Gotham have been spurred by the exposure of corruption and the dismantling of old power structures, the city's long-term recovery will depend on the strength and integrity of its institutions. These institutions, such as law enforcement, the judicial system, local government, and social services, must be reformed and rebuilt to ensure they can operate independently of the corrupt influence that once dominated them. Rebuilding trust in these institutions will be a slow process. Gotham's citizens must be engaged in every step of the reform process, ensuring that these institutions remain transparent, accountable, and responsive to the needs of the community. The fight for justice in Gotham cannot end with the removal of the old elite. It must extend to the creation of a new system, one that is truly representative of all its citizens, and that works for the betterment of the city as a whole. In the police force, for example, significant reform is needed to eliminate corruption, rebuild trust with the community, and ensure fair and equitable treatment of all residents. The new police force will be a force for justice and community service, not just crime enforcement. Police officers will undergo extensive training in de-escalation, community relations, and cultural sensitivity, ensuring that they work in partnership with the communities they serve. The judicial system, too, must be reformed to guarantee fairness, equality, and transparency. Gotham's courts must serve the people, not the powerful. The city must ensure that justice is not only done but seen to be done, with strict oversight to prevent any form of judicial corruption. This overhaul will also include a focus on restorative justice, offering those who have committed crimes the opportunity for rehabilitation rather than simply punishment. Gotham City's economy. Continuing the work of economic justice. The economy of Gotham, while beginning to shift toward a more equitable model, still faces significant challenges. The wealth that has been hoarded by the elite must be redistributed in ways that promote long-term economic stability and opportunity for all Gotham's residents. This redistribution is not simply a matter of charity. It is about creating a system where wealth and resources are shared equitably, ensuring that every citizen has access to the tools they need to thrive. The recovery of Gotham's economy must focus on building a diverse, resilient economy that is no longer dependent on the interests of the elite. This will involve diversifying Gotham's industries, investing in technology, renewable energy, green spaces, and local manufacturing to create new jobs and industries. By fostering innovation and encouraging small businesses, Gotham can create an economy that benefits all of its residents, not just the wealthy few. Moreover, the city's workforce will need access to better education and job training opportunities to truly succeed. Gotham must ensure that its residents, especially those who have been historically marginalized, have the skills and knowledge needed to participate in this new economy. This will involve partnerships between local government, educational institutions, and businesses to create job training programs that equip citizens with the tools they need to succeed in a rapidly changing job market. A new culture of civic engagement, empowering Gotham City's residents. One of the most powerful aspects of Gotham's transformation will be the emergence of a new culture of civic engagement. The exposure of the elite's corruption has awakened the people of Gotham to the importance of taking an active role in the city's future. No longer will Gotham's citizens stand by as passive observers. They will be active participants in the city's governance and recovery. Civic engagement will take many forms, from voting in local elections to participating in community-driven initiatives. Gotham's residents will have a say in how the city is run, how its resources are allocated, and how its systems are reformed. Local communities will be empowered to advocate for their needs, creating a dynamic, grassroots movement that ensures the voices of all residents are heard. This culture of civic engagement will also extend to the younger generation. Gotham's youth will be educated not only about their rights and responsibilities as citizens, but also about how to create change in their communities. This education will emphasize the importance of activism, participation, and collective responsibility, ensuring that future generations are equipped to continue the work that has been started. Gotham City's global leadership, a model for the world. Gotham's story of recovery, while deeply personal for its residents, will also serve as a model for cities around the world. Gotham is not alone in its struggles with corruption, inequality, and violence. Other cities face similar challenges, and Gotham's transformation can serve as an example of what is possible when a city takes collective action to confront these issues. Gotham's leadership in areas like social justice, sustainability, and economic equity will provide a blueprint for other cities looking to rebuild from the ashes of corruption. By sharing its story with the world, Gotham can inspire other urban centers to follow its example, showing that change is possible, even in the most difficult of circumstances. Global partnerships will be key to this effort. Gotham can collaborate with cities around the world to share ideas, resources, and best practices for urban transformation. Gotham's focus on environmental sustainability, social justice, and equitable economic development will make it a key player in global discussions about the future of cities and the role of government in creating a just society. Gotham City's legacy, a city reborn. Gotham's legacy, once defined by its crime, corruption, and inequality, is now being defined by its resilience, hope, and collective strength. The transformation of Gotham from a city of despair to one of hope is a testament to the power of the people and the potential for change, even in the most broken places. Batman's hidden agenda was not only about exposing the secrets of Gotham's elite, it was about sparking a revolution led by the people who would no longer accept the status quo. Gotham's recovery will be a long and difficult process, but the city's future is bright. Gotham's legacy will be one of empowerment, where its people, its leaders, and its heroes work together to create a city that is just, fair, and sustainable. The ultimate goal of Gotham's transformation is not simply to restore the city to its former glory, but to create a new Gotham, one that stands as a beacon of hope, resilience, and justice. Gotham will be a place where every citizen has the opportunity to succeed, where corruption is a thing of the past, and where justice is not just an ideal but a reality for everyone. As Gotham steps further into its new era, the journey will continue to be a dynamic one, with each victory revealing new layers of complexity and challenges. While the elite have been unmasked, the work ahead will be just as difficult as the path that brought Gotham to this point. Rebuilding a city from the ground up is no easy task, and even with the brightest future in sight, the city must tackle some of its most deeply ingrained issues. The battle for Gotham City's soul, restoring trust in the system. One of the most challenging aspects of Gotham's recovery is the restoration of trust in its institutions. Decades of corruption, violence, and betrayal have left a scar on the city's social fabric, and the road to healing will be long. For Gotham's people, the exposure of its elite was the first step in reclaiming the city. But the true test lies in whether they can trust the systems that are meant to protect them. The legal system, once rife with corruption and bias, will need to rebuild its credibility in the eyes of the public. Gotham's courts must work harder to ensure fairness, impartiality, and equality. Trials must be transparent, with full public access to proceedings. The police force, having been heavily influenced by corrupt leadership, will undergo continuous training to rebuild trust between officers and the communities they serve. Community policing, transparency, and accountability will become the pillars on which Gotham's future law enforcement efforts are built. Trust cannot be restored overnight. Citizens will need to see tangible change, whether in the form of fair trials, accessible public services, or reforms that make the justice system more accountable. Institutions that once thrived on secrecy and manipulation will now be held to a higher standard. As Gotham's citizens take on more responsibility, they will become an active part of the system, ensuring that it works for everyone, not just the powerful. Expanding Gotham City's social safety net. Ensuring no one is left behind. A crucial component of Gotham's recovery is the expansion of its social safety net. Gotham's history of neglecting its most vulnerable citizens has left behind significant gaps in access to healthcare, education, housing, and employment opportunities. In the wake of the elite's exposure, the city must ensure that everyone has the opportunity to rebuild their lives, regardless of their background. This expansion will focus on creating a comprehensive system of support for the most marginalized communities. Affordable healthcare, accessible mental health services, and addiction recovery programs will be key areas of focus. Gotham's social services must not only be reactive but proactive, working to prevent homelessness, hunger, and disenfranchisement before they become insurmountable problems. Education will play a central role in this transformation by investing in schools, after-school programs, and vocational training. Gotham will equip its future generations with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed. The goal will be to break the cycles of poverty and create opportunities for young people who may otherwise feel trapped in a system that has long ignored their potential. Additionally, the expansion of affordable housing and community centers will create safe spaces for Gotham's residents to heal and thrive. These spaces will not only serve as homes but as hubs for social services, employment opportunities, and community-building activities that foster unity and resilience. Rethinking the role of Gotham City's heroes, from vigilantes to civic leaders. The heroes of Gotham, particularly Batman, have always operated outside the boundaries of the law, often taking matters into their own hands when the system failed. As Gotham transitions into a new era, the role of its heroes will shift. No longer will Gotham's protectors be seen as lone vigilantes working in the shadows. They will now be part of the community, working hand in hand with civic leaders and citizens to continue building a better future. Batman's legacy will be felt, but as Gotham's citizens take charge of their own destiny, they will become the driving force of the city's transformation. The city's heroes, including Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin, will continue to serve as symbols of hope and justice, but they will also become active participants in the reform of Gotham's institutions. These heroes will help bridge the gap between the people and the systems that have often failed them. They will mentor new generations of Gotham's heroes, showing them that true heroism is not just about wearing a mask, but about serving the people and ensuring justice for all. As Batman steps back from his role as Gotham's sole protector, Gotham will become a city where heroes are not just those who fight in the shadows, but those who work in the light to create lasting change. Gotham's new heroes will be community organizers, educators, politicians, and leaders who fight for justice, equality, and the well-being of all its residents. The road ahead, building a Gotham free of fear and corruption. Gotham's future is one of hope, but it is also one of ongoing work. While the elite have been exposed, Gotham's true test will be in its ability to maintain its progress and continue evolving. The city must avoid falling back into old habits, where corruption, fear, and inequality reign supreme. To ensure that Gotham remains on the right path, continuous vigilance, community participation, and ethical leadership will be required. The city's leaders, both old and new, must remain committed to the ideals that have driven Gotham's transformation. The pursuit of justice must be tempered with compassion, and the goal of equality must be pursued with unwavering resolve. Gotham's citizens must continue to challenge the systems of power and demand that their voices are heard. Gotham's government, its schools, and its businesses must operate with transparency, accountability, and a commitment to the common good. Batman's hidden agenda has revealed the true nature of Gotham's elite, but it is now up to Gotham's people to ensure that the city does not fall back into the hands of the corrupt. The work that Batman began must continue with the collective efforts of Gotham's residents, heroes, and leaders. The legacy of Gotham, a beacon of hope for the world. As Gotham's recovery continues, It will not only serve as a model for other cities in need of transformation, it will inspire hope for people everywhere. The city's story will be one of redemption, of rising from the ashes of corruption and inequality to build a brighter, more just future. Gotham's transformation will show the world that no city is beyond saving, that even the most broken places can be rebuilt with the right vision and collective effort. Gotham will become a beacon of hope for other cities struggling with corruption, inequality, and crime. Its story will serve as proof that change is possible, no matter how deeply entrenched the problems may be. The city will lead by example, showing that true justice can only be achieved when everyone has a voice, when power is shared, and when the people stand together to demand a better future. Gotham's legacy will be defined not just by the heroes who fought for it, but by the citizens who took ownership of their city and built a future free from corruption, fear, and injustice. The true hero of Gotham will be its people, those who work tirelessly to rebuild their city and create a place where justice, opportunity, and hope are available to all. As Gotham's recovery unfolds, the true strength of the city will be reflected in the daily actions of its citizens, the structural reforms that shape its institutions, and the way its new generation of leaders and heroes emerge. Gotham has always been a city defined by its struggles, but its future promises to be one of unprecedented change and opportunity. While there will be moments of setback, Gotham's new identity will serve as a guiding light, ensuring that its past mistakes are not repeated. Gotham SIP's political landscape, the birth of a transparent and accountable system. Gotham's political landscape, once dominated by corruption and power-hungry elites, must now undergo a profound transformation. The exposure of its corrupt political figures was just the first step toward rebuilding the city's trust in its leaders. The path forward will involve the creation of a system that is fully transparent, accountable, and responsive to the needs of its citizens. The people of Gotham, now more engaged and determined than ever, will work to hold elected officials accountable. Voter turnout will increase, as citizens will see that their voices can have an impact on the city's future. Local government reforms will focus on decentralizing power, ensuring that the decisions made in City Hall are reflective of the diverse needs of Gotham's neighborhoods. Political parties will move toward inclusivity, fostering a climate of collaboration rather than division. The pursuit of power will no longer be about personal enrichment, but about creating policies that support the entire city. Public servants will be expected to remain open to feedback and to act with integrity. Those in office will be held to higher ethical standards, and corruption will be rooted out with transparency as the foundation of Gotham's new political system. Education and empowerment. A city focused on knowledge and opportunity. Education will be one of the cornerstones of Gotham's recovery. The city's public schools, once underfunded and overburdened, will undergo a renaissance. The curriculum will evolve to focus not just on academic achievement, but also on character building, social responsibility, and critical thinking. Gotham's young people, once left behind by the corrupt systems of the past, will now be equipped with the tools to build a brighter future. Public education will be made more accessible, and additional resources will be allocated to ensure that every student has the opportunity to succeed. Community schools will provide after-school programs that focus on both education and emotional well-being, creating an environment where students can learn, grow, and thrive. Vocational training programs will be established to offer alternative career paths, empowering young people who may not have had the chance to pursue traditional academic routes. Gotham's citizens will also have access to a variety of adult education and job training programs, ensuring that the city's workforce is prepared for the changing economy. By empowering its residents through education, Gotham will create a more self-sufficient population, reducing the inequalities that have been perpetuated for generations. Economic opportunities, a system built on equity and growth. Gotham's economic future depends on the city's ability to create a system where wealth is not concentrated in the hands of a few elite families, but shared across the population. The economic recovery will focus on creating equitable job opportunities, expanding access to affordable housing, and investing in sustainable industries that benefit the environment and the economy. The city will invest heavily in infrastructure, revitalizing neighborhoods that have long been neglected and creating new spaces for businesses to thrive. Green initiatives, such as renewable energy projects, eco-friendly transportation systems, and sustainable building practices, will become integral parts of Gotham's new economy. These investments will not only create jobs, but will also help Gotham to reduce its environmental footprint and position itself as a model for other cities to follow. Small businesses will be encouraged to flourish, with incentives for local entrepreneurs and startups. Gotham's economy will prioritize inclusivity, providing resources and support for minority-owned businesses, and ensuring that every resident, regardless of their background, has access to economic opportunities. Gotham's residents will be empowered to build their own futures, with programs that encourage financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and community-driven development. Gotham SIP's health and well-being, ensuring a future of care and compassion. A key component of Gotham's recovery will be its focus on public health. For too long, Gotham's healthcare system has been underfunded and inefficient, leaving many of its residents without access to the care they need. This gap in healthcare will be addressed through increased funding for public health programs, the expansion of mental health services, and a focus on preventative care. Access to healthcare will be expanded, with community clinics and healthcare facilities built in underserved neighborhoods. Gotham's hospitals will be revamped to provide better care for all, with an emphasis on mental health, addiction recovery, and trauma care. Public health campaigns will focus on educating the city's residents about healthy living, preventive medicine, and the importance of mental health care. The growing awareness of mental health issues, especially in a city with a history of trauma, will drive new policies and support systems. Gotham's leaders will work closely with mental health professionals to ensure that residents have access to the resources they need to cope with stress, anxiety, and the psychological toll that living in a city like Gotham can take. These efforts will ensure that Gotham's people are not only physically healthy, but also emotionally well-equipped to face the challenges of the future. Global influence. Gotham SIP's role in leading by example. Gotham's recovery will have far-reaching implications. As the city transforms into a beacon of justice, equality, and sustainability, it will serve as an example for cities around the world. Gotham's story will be one of redemption, of a city once mired in corruption, violence, and inequality rising to create a future defined by hope, opportunity, and empowerment. The lessons learned from Gotham's journey will be shared with other cities facing similar struggles. Gotham's leaders will engage with international organizations and other cities, sharing best practices for social justice, economic equity, and urban sustainability. Gotham's commitment to environmental responsibility will also make it a key player in global discussions on climate change and urban planning. Gotham's new identity as a leader in social and environmental justice will attract global attention. The city will host international conferences, cultural events, and forums that showcase its progress and offer insights into how other cities can follow its lead. As Gotham becomes a model for transformation, it will inspire other urban centers to rise above their own challenges and work toward building better, more inclusive futures. A future rewritten. The rebirth of Gotham. In the end, Gotham's true transformation will be defined not by the villains it has defeated, but by the city it has become. The corrupt elite may have been exposed, but Gotham's lasting change will come from its people, those who have fought for justice, equality, and a better future. Gotham's rebirth will be a testament to the power of collective action, to the idea that even the most broken systems can be rebuilt when people come together with a shared vision. Batman's role in this transformation will remain a significant part of Gotham's legacy. His hidden agenda to expose the elite was the catalyst for the city's recovery, but it is the work of Gotham's citizens and new heroes that will ensure that the city never returns to its old ways. Batman's shadow will always hang over the city, but Gotham's future will no longer be dictated by fear or the power of the few. It will be a city defined by hope, opportunity, and the unwavering belief that every citizen has the right to a fair and just life. Gotham's story, once a tale of corruption and despair, will become a story of resilience, renewal, and redemption. A city that proves that no matter how deep the darkness, there is always light to guide the way. Gotham, reborn and redefined, will stand as a symbol of hope for the world, proof that even the most flawed cities can rise again when their people take charge of their future. As Gotham's future unfolds, it will encounter not only challenges but opportunities for deeper growth and refinement. The city, which once stood as a symbol of corruption and decay, will now be tested by the very freedoms it has worked so hard to achieve. While Batman's mission was a pivotal turning point, the city's continued success depends on how well its systems adapt, how its citizens engage, and how its heroes evolve in response to the complexities of a post-recovery world. The challenge of maintaining unity in a post-corruption Gotham. One of the greatest hurdles Gotham will face as it rebuilds is maintaining unity. As the city transitions from one shaped by fear and corruption to one based on justice and fairness, there will be moments of division. The fractures that exist between different social, economic, and political groups will not disappear overnight. The process of healing Gotham's wounds is ongoing, and it will require consistent efforts to bridge gaps and bring people together. As Gotham's new leaders, both political and civic, emerge, they will need to work tirelessly to ensure that the city remains united in its vision for a better future. This means addressing issues of inequality, providing opportunities for all communities to participate in the rebuilding process, and ensuring that no one is left behind. The city's leaders will need to focus on creating spaces for dialogue, mutual understanding, and collective decision-making. Gotham's leaders will also need to acknowledge that the trauma caused by years of corruption, violence, and inequality will take time to heal. Many residents will continue to feel the effects of their past experiences, whether it be from living in poverty, dealing with the aftermath of criminal activities, or coping with the loss of loved ones. Support systems will be essential for Gotham's recovery, and mental health services, community programs, and outreach efforts will be crucial in helping residents navigate this journey of healing. Security in the new Gotham. Redefining the role of protection. As Gotham moves away from a reliance on Batman's vigilantism, the concept of protection will be redefined. Gotham's citizens will take on a more active role in ensuring the safety of their communities. The days of depending on a lone hero to defend the city will give way to community-driven initiatives where local leaders and residents work together to create safe environments for all. While Gotham's police force will be reformed to reflect new values of transparency and accountability, the true measure of security will come from the city's collective commitment to peace and justice. Community policing efforts will be critical in rebuilding trust between law enforcement and the neighborhoods they serve. Police officers will be seen not as an occupying force, but as partners in creating safer, more connected communities. Furthermore, Gotham's new security systems will be technologically advanced, with a focus on preventing crime rather than simply reacting to it. Surveillance systems that respect privacy, neighborhood watch programs, and community-led efforts will work alongside law enforcement to create an environment where Gotham's citizens feel empowered to take ownership of their safety. New opportunities for Gotham City's youth. Building the leaders of tomorrow. The future of Gotham lies in its youth. The next generation of Gotham citizens will play a pivotal role in continuing the work that has been started and ensuring that the city remains on the path to justice and fairness. This means providing young people with the tools and opportunities they need to succeed, not just in terms of education but also in terms of leadership. Gotham schools will need to focus on more than just academics. They will become hubs of civic engagement, creativity, and social responsibility. Students will be encouraged to think critically, develop empathy, and become active participants in the city's transformation. Vocational training, internships, and mentorship programs will give young people the opportunity to gain the skills they need to thrive in the modern economy, while also instilling the values of justice, equity, and responsibility. The next generation of Gotham's leaders will rise from the neighborhoods they call home, whether they pursue careers in politics, business, education, or social services. These young people will bring fresh perspectives, new ideas, and a sense of hope that will propel Gotham forward. They will be the ones who continue to challenge the status quo, who fight for environmental sustainability, who advocate for racial and social justice, and who ensure that Gotham's future is one that is built on fairness and equity. Gotham as a global beacon of hope, the legacy of transformation. The ripple effects of Gotham's transformation will be felt far beyond its borders. Gotham's recovery story will become an inspiration to cities worldwide. As a place once defined by corruption and crime, Gotham's rise to become a model of justice and sustainability will prove that even the most broken systems can be rebuilt. Other cities struggling with issues of inequality, corruption, and social unrest will look to Gotham as an example of what is possible when communities come together and fight for change. Gotham will begin to host international summits, drawing global leaders, activists, and innovators to discuss urban transformation, social justice, and sustainable development. It will serve as a hub for discussions on how cities around the world can rebuild themselves, focusing not only on economic growth but also on inclusivity, equity, and environmental responsibility. Gotham's legacy will be one of leadership, showing the world that even in the darkest of times, hope can rise. The city will also become a center of technological innovation. Its commitment to sustainability, green energy, and smart infrastructure will attract global attention, making it a leader in urban planning and environmental justice. Gotham's success in addressing climate change, renewable energy, and sustainable development will make it a model for other cities to follow as they work to address their own environmental challenges. Gotham City's new identity, a city defined by hope, justice, and unity. Gotham will no longer be a city known for its corruption, its criminals, or its broken systems. It will be a city defined by its resilience, its hope, and its collective commitment to justice. The dark history that once defined Gotham's identity will give way to a new era of unity, opportunity, and progress. The people of Gotham, once disconnected and marginalized, will now be the city's greatest strength, working together to ensure that their city remains a place where everyone has a chance to succeed. The heroes who once fought in the shadows will now be seen as symbols of a new Gotham, one where the true heroism lies not in fighting crime, but in creating the systems that ensure justice for all. The legacy of Batman will not be defined by his battles, but by the city he helped inspire. Gotham will carry forward his ideals of justice, fairness, and resilience, but it will also make them its own. The people will continue his work, ensuring that the city never again falls into the hands of those who would exploit it. In the years to come, Gotham will stand as a symbol of hope, a beacon for cities around the world. Its story will prove that change is possible, even in the most difficult of circumstances. Gotham's journey from darkness to light will be a reminder that no matter how deep the corruption runs, there is always a path to redemption, renewal, and justice. Gotham's future will not just be a reflection of its past struggles, but of the collective strength, determination, and unity of its people. As Gotham stands at the threshold of its new future, it has not only emerged from the shadows of its past, but has begun to redefine what it means to be a city. The exposure of the corruption that once ran through its elite, the dismantling of broken systems, and the collective efforts of its citizens have created a foundation for a city that is now rooted in justice, hope, and opportunity for all. The work that began with Batman's hidden agenda, unmasking the elite, revealing the truth, and exposing the systemic corruption, has set Gotham on a path to true transformation. The challenges ahead will be complex, but the city now possesses the resilience, vision, and leadership needed to confront them. Gotham's future is no longer defined by fear or inequality, but by the collective strength and determination of its people. Through education, economic reform, and the building of stronger, more accountable institutions, Gotham is not only recovering, it is thriving. Its new identity as a city of justice, sustainability, and hope is emerging, making it a beacon of what can be achieved when communities unite to fight for change. Gotham's story will serve as an inspiration to other cities around the world, proving that transformation is possible, no matter how deep the corruption or how dark the past. In the end, Gotham's legacy will be one of redemption and resilience, a place where its citizens and heroes work hand in hand to ensure that justice is for everyone, and where the power lies with the people. Gotham will no longer be a city of despair, but one of opportunity, fairness, and unity, a true model for the future. As the city continues its journey of recovery and growth, the enduring legacy of Batman and the heroes who followed him will not just be remembered in stories, but carried forward in every citizen's commitment to ensuring that Gotham remains a city where justice reigns and the light shines through. Gotham's rebirth is not just a moment in time, it is a movement, one that will endure for generations to come.